Hey guys, I have not made a video in quite a while, and for good reason. Um, After I made that video, the hardest video I've ever made, I believe is the title, my living condition has changed. I no longer live where I live. I no longer have means to record my podcast, and I'm currently working on that. But since there's no one around, I can actually make a video. So, we're going to talk about PlayStation Now. And I know I have not made videos pertaining Sony, Nintendo, more E3 stuff. I mean, the podcast, yeah, we dived into a bit of things, but there are a lot of opinions that I have not expressed. So we're going to start off with PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now, when it was originally announced, I've had bad feelings for it. I thought that it's a great idea. I think it's an excellent idea. I just think it's a horribly executed idea. Meaning that their business model should not be an on demand pricing system that they have here. It should really be a subscription service. Kind of like Netflix, where you can just, rent as many movies as you want, no late fees or what have you. But in the case of Netflix Instant Watch, that's essentially what this is. So Sony can take that idea instead of giving everybody free games for PlayStation Plus. They should have a subscription service with a delay. So, for instance, if let's say they're going to have Grand Theft Auto 5 on this PlayStation Now service, they can do something of the lines of, okay, you won't be able to rent it for at least a year. So, that still allows a game developer to sell their game at 60 ridiculous price, by the way. But, there was a better way of implementing the pricing than what they showed off. I'm annoyed with what they did because you claim that this is a beta, yet you're charging money for it. The beta, for it to be successful, it should have been free. It really should have. They should have had, 10 select games on there. If you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you can play it, whatever. If not, you can do a trial or something like that. They should not be charging the prices that they're charging. They're charging $3 to $5 for 4 hours, $5 to $8 for a week, and $8 to $15 for a month. And then they have a 90-day, so like 3 months, $30 to rent. And there's no option to purchase. And this is something that I don't understand. So what they should do also with PlayStation Now is take your entire digital catalog and make it available on PlayStation Now. You can make PlayStation Now a subscription service, or you could also allow it to go hand in hand with purchasing digital titles. One of the things that people hate about buying digitally is that it's on one console, and you go over a friend's house and you can't play it. So things like this could have been completely alleviated with this service. Imagine you have a PlayStation 4 and you don't feel like waiting for a game to download. Your friend has reasonable internet, but not quite, Fios like. You go onto his PlayStation 4, you sign in, and you're like, well, I just purchased, this brand new game. Let's play it right now. And that's the kind of thing that, Sony should have done with the service, is make an incentive to purchase digitally. I'm personally against digital. I really don't like it. The only reason why I do it on PC is because of Steam sales. I'm sorry, for $10 and I get, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 4, and episodes of Liberty City. I think that's well worth the $10. And you know what? If I can't trade that back in, I don't give a fuck. But when you have a game that's on the PlayStation 4, if I'm given the option of paying $60 and I get a disc that I can give away to somebody, that I can resell and recoup some of that money, or a digital title where it's mine forever, and I'm sorry, that boundary is still there. It's the same way I feel about books or movies. I don't really purchase things digitally ever because I don't really own anything. If I want a digital file that I use on my iPod or I use on my streaming server that I built in my house, I'll buy a Blu-ray, I'll rip it myself. So I still have a physical copy. And with games, I think it's even more important because these aren't cheap. I mean, if these games are $20, it's not that bad. But for $60, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you $60 for a digital title. And then, even in the collector's sense, if everything's digital, where's the collectability? It's not there anymore. If let's say you're a cheap ass gamer, which I would say I am, you can't go on eBay and buy large batches of games if everything's digital. So Sony, really the only incentive they have is something that a promise that they never delivered on with the PlayStation 4. I don't know if you guys remember, but the PlayStation 4 was touted that if, let's say, you bought a game digitally, or what have you, you would be able to start playing as it's still downloading. I have yet to see that. And case in point is all these PlayStation Plus titles. If you're downloading Resogun, you can't just start playing it within a few minutes. You have to let it finish downloading, installing, and then downloading the update and install that, and then you can play. There were a lot of features on the PlayStation 4 that still have yet to come out that they promised before the console came out. Another one being that you could remotely take over someone else's gameplay session and help them with it. That feature is also not available on the console yet. The ability to, while you're in the middle of a game, shut down the console and then resume playing that game later on. Still not functioning on the PlayStation 4. At least Microsoft has that functionality working. So I am pretty disappointed with the PlayStation 4. I'm gonna say that. So I know this rant went originally from a PlayStation Now to pricing to digital copy rants to now the PlayStation 4, but I really do think Sony is going back to their old ways, and it really proved it with this year's E3. With this year's E3, they just showed more of the same. They didn't focus at all on exclusive titles. And then they end the show with Uncharted 4. And you guys know my opinions on Uncharted. Uncharted is such a, it's a lackluster title to begin with. I mean, yes, it has the most artistic styles and cinematics and oh my god explosions and it's just like fucking Indiana Jones. But the problem with it, the gameplay sucks. It really does. I played, the only reason why I played number 3 was because it was part of PlayStation Plus. That's the only reason why I got to play it. I had no intentions of purchasing the third game. And I'm glad I didn't because I thought it was shit. I really did. For them, it's like they really wanted to make their own Indiana Jones movie. They made it into a playable game and it's the same fucking concept as the first one. Just rinse and repeat. The enemies are the same. The boss battles, I don't really call them boss battles. So it's just that. I think that Sony's focusing on the wrong aspects. They have plenty of IPs that they need to really bring back. I believe Jak and Daxter seriously needs to be brought back. It was a great concept. It had originality. As I said, these are things that Naughty Dog's not focusing on. The Last of Us was a great game. Don't get me wrong. It was a great game. I think it's kind of fucked up what they're doing with the re-releases. That seems to be the new trend these days, where both Sony and Microsoft are just investing money into re-releasing games they made, 10 years ago. They want to re-release them in glorious HD. It's like, really, at this point, gaming is getting stale. I hate to say it, but it's honestly how I feel. I have game consoles all over the place, and I don't play them because the games are just maybe I'm just not being a gamer anymore. Maybe I'm really losing interest in it. But, I have, a Wii U, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, the original PlayStation 3 that plays PS1 and PS2 games. I have the PlayStation 4. I have a Dreamcast. I have a regular Wii. I have a GameCube. I have all these game consoles, but there's nothing really to play these days. The PlayStation Vita, which Sony seriously fucked up royally on, and I called it. I called it, what, 2, 3 years ago? I said the PlayStation Vita would be just like the PSP. You know, I didn't know many people with the PSP. And those who had it didn't use it really for much. They just pirated every fucking game they had, and they used it to run movies and music and emulators. That's all they used it for. But with the PlayStation Vita, Sony dropped the ball severely with it. I think it's a very capable handheld. There's no doubt about it. It has a lot of performance. Problem is, what fucking games are running on this thing? I mean, at least Nintendo, they have a handheld that, yes, is not as powerful as the Vita, but they release a lot of great games that you keep coming back to and keep on playing. Imagine if Mario Kart 7 was on the Vita, it would look like Mario Kart 8 on a handheld. That would have been amazing. And that's the thing. Nintendo at least, has some original ideas. Yes, they recycle the same IPs, but those IPs keep getting new, fresh ideas added onto them. And I have to give them a little bit of credit for that. Nintendo really did excellent at E3 this year. I mean, it's their best E3 in a long time. It was better than the E3 that they announced the damn console. It's just, they're actually on track. And their sales are going up, which proves the point of it, being on track. So I'm looking forward to the new Zelda. I'm looking forward to Splatoon. I think Splatoon, I don't know why, it's so cool looking. But, yeah, I mean, gaming is just, I don't know. I really don't know. And you have Sony going back on their old ways. Microsoft, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I really don't. I am kind of looking forward to the Master Chief Collection. I mean, as much as I'm ranting against them, it would be nice to just fully replay all the Halo games again. PC gaming, I'm looking forward to Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC because it's completely unplayable on the PlayStation 3. When Grand Theft Auto 4 looks nicer on PC than Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS3, it's really a problem. So, yeah, that ends up my rant. It's been a long time coming. I have plenty of ideas, plenty of videos I would like to make, but again, unfortunately, with the living situation, I don't have the freedom to do what I used to do. There are 2 little kids that run around in this house that can't quite listen to the things that I normally say in my YouTube videos. They hells can't listen to the podcast, and that's the other problem. When they go to bed at 8:30 and I want to do my podcast at 11 o'clock at night, it's kind of a problem. So I'm working on it, guys. I really am. I'm trying to figure out things, and on top of that, Comcast is shit. I only have, I think it's 25 down, 5 up, and on top of that, the modem constantly has issues. I'm trying to get the modem replaced, but again, it's not mine, so I don't have the freedom to do what I used to do. So yeah, it's an adjustment, guys, and I have to say thank you for all the support I got on that video I made. I know I'm not naming what it is, but let's just say that since I released that video, my life has been pretty intense. It's been a lot of low points and high points. I'm hoping things get better from it, but it's been one rough ride. And I have to say, for anyone else out there that watches my videos that is going through what I'm going through or has gone through what I'm currently going through, you have my utmost respect. I have to say, it takes one to know one. It takes one to go through the same struggles to really, I have to say, it's tough. It is really tough. So take care, guys. Look out for future videos, and hopefully I figure everything out.